happen to really enjoy on streams asking people questions about inconsequential elements in the background of the shot. And I always think that's very, very funny.
Well,
I
that's
may be
good
the only one who
content.
thinks so.
That's what that is, Big Zebra. That's why
Yeah,
people tune in, is for those
yeah,
penetrating questions. So, Sam,
exactly.
I heard your Rainbow Connection
Oh,
cover. Yeah, yeah, very nice. I see.
it's not public, Andy.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Doesn't
I just
matter.
saw the link and I clicked it.
Um, yeah, you got to have the link to see that because
Okay.
that's the first. I just learnt the words today for Grant.
Oh, for Grant. Right.
Mm.
It's surprisingly high.
Dude, I saw that. Yeah, I felt that. I felt that with your voice when you were kind of like going. And I mean, I haven't listened to the song since I don't know when, since I was a kid, probably.
Same.
What song is this, may I ask?
The Rainbow Connection, and I don't know. The Carpenters do it, but I don't know if they did it first.
I don't
Well,
know.
why don't we go to the Google machine and
You
find
can
out?
Wow.
Rainbow Connection.
It was
Rainbow.
interesting for me because Grant was saying how Jim Henson had left his church
Oh,
a
yeah.
couple of years prior to making that movie and singing at least that song if he didn't write it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw that comment by Grant that he said it could be a good metaphor for faith or leaving faith. Yeah, good stuff.
Well, we have a listing here for Jim Henson in 1979, but that doesn't quite make sense to me.
Well,
I'm
I
going
would
to
admit,
keep researching.
keep researching, Big Zebra, Big Zeb,
This is important.
Marjorie Taylor. Hey, what's up, Tobin? How are you doing, man?
I am hanging in there. I actually went to sleep pretty early last night. I had one of those. I'm well rested. Felt
for you,
good.
man.
And then I was blown away at Dave Chappelle. I was just like, it looks like he is at doing one of his skits. You know,
Yeah.
it seems like a skit, but it's not. This is him being for real.
This is him just being him and being a shitty person and shitting on poor people, basically. That's what Dave is doing. Yeah,
You know, oh, sorry, you weren't finished. Let me.
his press agent came out. Of course, they're trying to do damage control, right? Because the video went viral, of course. And his agent's like, Dave's not really a shitty person. Doesn't really give you anything else than that.
The thing is that he asked for a meeting in private, which they said don't. No, we won't. And so,
if you're going to be shitty, if you're going to be taking a shitty position, you should be going on the effing record to show the world what kind of shitty person you are. Yeah, good for them to put him on camera like that too. Yeah, F him.
okay.
Yeah. Because now you get not only his arrogance at not wanting to be in front of the plebes, in front of the everyday people, and but you get to see him on the record going that I don't want poor people in my neighborhood.
Mm. At least if he actually went out and said "fuck the poor," there'd be a chance for them to get some sex. But instead, he didn't actually say it.
I don't get the segue.
Well, if he said, instead of saying what he said, he just said "fuck the poor." Fuck, you see, then people could take it metaphorically, or
Yellow card.
Oh crap!
Yeah.
I did it again.
Yeah.
Can we blame Tobin this time? Because he never.
Tobin is definitely choosing his words carefully, which
Yeah,
right.
way to go, Tobin. You're an example for us all.
Yeah. I plead the fifth. No.
So
just backtracking a little bit because it's such a fascinating topic, but it is to me because So Jim Henson did write, or not? He wrote it. There was actually two composers, Kenneth Asher and Paul Williams, wrote it
No, Paul Williams. Right. Yeah.
For the Muppets. But this is aimed at children, and if you go and read the lyrics to this song, it is literally about not believing in wishes and magic.
Yeah.
Even though everyone else around you is, sort of thing. And this is Kermit the Frog sitting on a log telling kids not to believe in woo. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
I know I've heard it, but now I'm definitely have to listen to it. I can't wait to hear it.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
What religion was Jim Henson prior to writing this song?
No, that's a good question.
Let's check.
Yeah. I'm going to guess he was part of some. I'm going to guess Lutheran off the top of my head. I'm going to go with Lutheran.
He remained a Christian Scientist at least until his 20s, where he taught Sunday school.
If Christians. So for those of you who don't know Christian Science, right? They're the ones who do not believe in any medicine whatsoever. They are the ones who are like, you're going to pray and no medicine. That's it.
I have some family with that.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, Mary Baker Eddy formed the church here in Boston area. Actually, the mother church is here right on Mass Ave. It's a beautiful church, and they give free tours if you're ever around here. But yeah, chock full of nuts. I could see why someone smart like Jim Henson would might have some issues.
Do you know what Mark Twain said about his book?
No, wait a minute. What were you going to say, Sam?
It says he began to distance himself from the church later in life, choosing instead to emphasize a broader message of inclusivity and diversity that wasn't bound by any particular doctrine. Which, when you look at Sesame Street, that was spot on. There was not a touch of religion or God in Sesame Street, and it was inclusive. There was people of color, and this, very early on, Sesame Street was always quick to embrace the LGBTQ community. It's
the Fraggle Rock. Do y'all remember Fraggle Rock? That was also a Jim Henson. Yeah. That one had a really good theme music too. He had a good taste. He was just a admirable artist.
Yeah. It would happen to turn out not to be a crappy person, from what it seems. It seems like he wasn't a crappy person.
After all.
Because maybe I should say that every single time we talk about someone like a famous artist. It's like, well, they don't seem like a crappy person, but we've had so many nice people. What you would think were nice people suddenly turn out to be dickwads, the list is just. I when I wrote that bit for Only Sky Today about Marjorie Taylor Greene and the White Gazpacho militia, I mentioned Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby, before the allegations came out against him, he was on a book tour talking about young black men who had their pants down too low, and he was just like on their crap. Like, I remember watching him on Meet the Press, and I'm going, someone who's that interested in other people's pants, there has to be something shady going on there. There has to be something shady going on there. And sure enough, yeah.
You remember the old Michael Jackson joke? Where, why does Michael Jackson like Walmart?
Why?
Because boys' pants are always half off.
No, that's fine. That's funny.
I think it's okay. As far as these jokes go.
Yeah, it's a throwaway joke, right? It's a throwaway joke, but it's not bad,
It's innocent.
What's that,
Michael?
Sam?
Innocent.
Sure, all the data seems to point that way. I only saw part of the documentary, Never Leaving Neverland or whatever it is, and I'm like, yeah, that man, nothing but trouble.
To say the very least, he was flaming cuckoo.
Yes.
Oh,
But
that's
you gotta check his the way he was raised. He was a
Mm.
Jehovah's Witness too. His parents were Jehovah's Witnesses. I think I'm right
His
about
mum
that.
still is,
Right.
and one of his sisters.
Yeah.
And the father was a tyrant too.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently, just an appalling person.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
did I hear someone yawn?
That was
Yes.
not me. Oh, that was Kendra.
Kendra.
That's Kendra. Yeah.
Oh, shit, I'm sorry.
That's
Way to go,
okay.
Kendra!
Yawning's allowed, Kendra. You can yawn.
Okay.
Let it out.
Hey, I'm
Kendra.
gonna pause it for a second.
Sure, man. No worries.
Oh, I hope he's not worried. I thought that was funny.
That was funny.
There's Kendra. Oh, now they turned her off.
No, I didn't mean to do that.
Sorry,
That
I was laying
was-
in my bed.
Hi,
What's up,
Kendra.
Good
Good
morning.
morning. I got like bedhead and shit going on. I'm sorry.
That's okay. There's no shame with bedhead. Yeah, look at Sam. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning.
And I've still got bed hair from this morning.
By the way, I was thinking that you might know more about this than I do, Dr. Kennard. Is that when there are public events, you end up with stand-up comedians pretending to be people who are just in the general audience and doing silly things. And I remember I saw a guy at the Michael Jackson event where there was a lawyer speaking on his behalf outside of the trial room. And there was a stand-up comedian who was pretending to be a really weird guy who, said Michael Jackson is innocent, the lawyer would say. And the stand-up comedian would say, yeah, he's innocent, all right. And standing right beside him, lapping up every word. And of course, it was ridiculous and silly and hilarious.
Right.
Or Judge Roy Moore, he was in a church, and the stand-up comedian says, this man is innocent. Is that the face of a child molester? I don't think so.
Yeah, there's some people who go out there and troll, like in physical real time. They just troll horrible people, and it is pretty funny. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, the left needs to get on it. Like, what if the Democratic Party had like 10 really good stand-up comedians, maybe not famous, just good, and say, hey, can you write tweets for us every day about stupid things the right wing does?
Well, there's definitely people out there writing copy for Twitter accounts, and there's definitely that. What I would like to see more of the live action, the stuff that you just said, the live action stuff. I think that would be.
Do you remember the Trump Russia flags? There was a Trump event, and there was a Trump event, and people came with the Russian flag with the word Trump on it and passed them out.
Yeah.
That was really some top flight stuff.
Yeah. Of course, whenever you decide to do something in real time, there's always a chance of getting into real trouble. Like when you look at Sacha Baron Cohen, right? And Sacha Baron Cohen, who is a legitimate, he put his life at risk for a lot of his things when he went, undercover in costume in these these conservative Christian places, and basically satirized them to their faces. I mean, he put himself at risk.
That's real courage there.
What's that? What did you say, Sam?
Decepticon Soundwaves comment.
Way to go, Decepticon.
Indeed. So, but Sacha Baron Cohen, yeah, I'd like to see more of that kind of stuff there. But I mean, it's dangerous. It's dangerous.
You mean like what he did to Giuliani and that?
Oh, Giuliani, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
When he went in as a country singer at the rally and started singing, I mean,
when
Sam, you're about to have
with his 15-year-old, it was a grown woman, but 15-year-old sister.
Yeah.
And Giuliani was going to receive pleasure.
Yeah.
From what he assumed was a 15-year-old girl.
Yeah.
And this was put into the movie.
Oh yeah.
And this man is still walking the streets. Like,
Well, Sam, Giuliani was just tucking his pants in. He wasn't. He was tucking in his shirt. He wasn't getting ready for happy time with a minor. But you raise so many good points. One, getting back to the danger quality of it, if not only do you put yourself in physical danger doing a bit like that, but you put yourself in legal danger doing a bit like that too. Because I'm sure Sacha Baron Cohen wasn't already well financed. He could have gotten his butt suit off for something like that. But yeah, Giuliani, how is that guy still walking around? How is he still walking around?
It boggles the mind, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But he really could go to jail, though.
Oh, he could. Yeah.
And he'll as a proxy for Trump.
He could go to jail, and of course, Dominion voting systems still has like a $1.5 billion lawsuit going against Giuliani, that Powell woman, one of the lawyers for Trump, another lawyer for Trump. And of course Mike Lindell too. So they are on the hook for like a lot of money.
It'll be fun seeing the Mike guy will panic, as he's already panicking, I think, by shouting louder and louder about how he has evidence of electoral fraud.
Yeah.
But when it really starts to come to war, he might have a total meltdown.
Well, it's like Joe McCarthy from the the hearings in the 50s, right? McCarthy would always say that he has proof. He would hold up, I have proof of like 50 communists in the State Department or 100 communists in the State Department. But the guy had nothing. It was just a moral panic that he was. And this is so American, too. You create a moral panic for political gains, right? And whether it's the same thing for everything from the Salem witch trial to the McCarthy hearings to QAnon. It is just and then this is what happens when you have so many evangelicals in the country. You just have these kind of moral panics that just pop up.
Yeah.
I don't think Giuliani will go to jail, but hopefully he'll spend a lot of money on legal fees. And that's another way how the system gets you. They just bleed you dry with legal fees. What were you going to say, Sam? I'm sorry.
And he's been is he federally disbarred? Sort of, he'll never.
I don't know, because being barred, having a license, I believe it goes from state to state, right? So I believe New York disbarred him. Not absolutely sure, but I think New York did.
So he could still.
His law license is suspended.
It's suspended. Okay, yeah.
But is that only in one state?
I believe so. So I don't know how many, before all of this happened, I don't know how many states he already had a law license. He had a license for. So it could have been only like 2 or 3 states or 4 states.
Well, his New York is where his practice is, or was.
Yep.
And you can apply to work in other jurisdictions. It just takes a little paperwork.
He's probably just making most of his money from being a consultant, right? And he's still selling autographed 9/11 t-shirts. Remember 9/11 t-shirts for like $900. I heard this on the radio on NPR. I think it was on NPR. That he was selling remember 9/11 with a signature t-shirt for like hundreds of dollars on eBay.
And people are buying them?
People are crazy.
Well, maybe they're buying them. Maybe he sold one last month. We don't know.
Yeah. Well, you could. That 20 to 25% of the country that are MAGA supporters, they're in it to win it kind of stuff, and that's why so many people like to brand crap to sell to people, because they just want to buy and be part of that community.
Sorry to always be going backwards in the conversation.
Go right ahead, Sam.
But the ABC News says, in regards to I'm going to call him Judy Giuliani.
Go right ahead. Go with that.
What's the ripple effect in other states? States have an interest in weeding out lawyers deemed unethical. So when one state takes steps against a lawyer, other states typically take the same steps. This means there will be few places, if any, where Giuliani will be able to practice law or appear in court on behalf of clients as long as his New York license is suspended.
That's nice.
So
That's nice.
Hope.
Yeah.
I spotted here that he's been suspended in D.C. as well.
I remember hearing that. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that we covered that. That's right. That's right. Yeah.
That's excellent. Because he, it's like with Trump, it just feels it's more unfair that these people get away with everything. Essentially, let's just be honest. It doesn't matter what they do.
Right.
They essentially have no repercussions, no real world repercussions.
Mhm.
He
Well-
can't be a lawyer. He would have that much money invested in that many other things that probably,
Well, that's why Republicans do what they do, right? That's why they specifically pick culture war issues that they're going to lose in like 5 or 10 or 15 years, right? Whether it's, when was the last time you heard anyone complain about bathrooms, right? When was the last time you heard anyone complain, in terms of a national GOP, like this is the thing we're going to be talking about gay marriage, right? Those issues have come and gone. What Republicans do is that they pick whatever is the hot topic for the minute, which is like critical race theory, let's say, and which they are going to lose this issue unless they, take over the entire society, which is still a possibility, which is a real possibility. But they know that they will probably lose on this issue, but they will still be able to get the money and the power that they need and they want until the next issue comes up, and that they'll just pile on that.
Like mandates.
Mandates, right? That's another. We know we're going to lose on mandates, but we're going to just, convince enough people, enough voters to vote. Our core constituents to stay with us.
I was actually arguing about those topics yesterday with somebody in real life, face to face.
How did that go, Tobin? I saw that you were doing that. I saw that you had written about that.
Yeah, he came by, and he's like one of these type of people who wear God is good on his hat, or he'll wear rebel flags. Whenever he was talking to me, he was wearing a rebel flag hat. Very conservative, God is great kind of person. And he's talked to me several times since I've moved over here.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the times I've just kind of smiled and nodded. And yesterday I was like, nah. I asked him, how did he know that to be true? That was my first question I asked. And then it just rolled from there. And I was able to keep it. We never raised our voices. We actually sat there and talked for over an hour.
Now,
just out in my front yard.
Were you actually sitting down?
Partially. I was kind of standing and sitting.
Okay. Usually when you have difficult conversations, it's better to be seated, because when you're standing, you're more likely, this is what you learn after being in therapy for 20 years. It's typically better to have difficult conversations seated, because you're less likely to have the fight or flight reaction. So just as you would tell your dog to sit when things are being really confusing around the dog, it's better to sit yourself down so that you can focus more and you're less likely to pop off when you're seated.
Right on.
Yeah. So it sounds like it went very positive, Tobin.
Yes. Yeah, it did. I
Good
think
for you.
I may have got him to think about some of these things. But yeah.
What's
and
really...
he's
No, go ahead, man.
I was just going to finish by saying, and he's willing to have more conversations. He's like, I'd like to talk about this more.
Good.
So,
because what we've seen, right? We covered this story, I don't know, maybe a month or two ago, is that people regress back. Once you change someone's mind, they have a tendency to regressing back to their original belief system. But if you're there and if you interact with him on a regular basis, you can really, prevent that from happening, or hopefully prevent that from happening. Yeah, job well done. Job well done.
Thank you.
Yeah. Woohoo! Deep Park says nice. That's right. Indeed.
Yeah.
So I'm exceptionally happy that this is the weekend. This has been a busy week for me, and so I was up at 4:30 this morning. Some of you may have noticed that I was up early. And so it is apropos that I'm hoping to catch up on my sleep and to do more work, just different types of work over the weekend. But yeah. Do y'all have anything big planned on Saturday, Sunday?
Working.
Yeah, you should be watching the Super Bowl. It's the World Championship, Sammy, and Big Zeb. It's the World Championship of American teams.
Just for the whole this boom bob.
I will watch it in the background. It's just another reason for me maybe to have a couple of drinks and to snack, and just so that maybe I can get a couple of jokes out of it, right? I mean, that's why I watch the Super Bowl. And sometimes people come. I mean, people don't come over because it's now, it's still relatively COVID-y. So, yeah.
Isn't that funny? In Australia, we all stop. The one thing that stops our nation every year is the Melbourne Cup.
Right.
We all bet.
Oh, really?
On it, yeah.
No, I imagine that is football, as against to American football.
Rugby?
No, that's horse racing.
It's horse racing. I had wow.
Yeah, the Melbourne Cup. I thought
Nope. Sorry, I would have failed that Jeopardy question. I would have gotten that wrong.
It's I think it is the biggest prize in horse racing now. Or used to be, or something.
I am. I don't know a lot about horse racing. Guilty as charged.
No, that's the funny thing. No one in Australia does. Like, no.
How do you train
horse racing?
How do you train a horse?
We all bet. We all go in and ask someone, "How do we do it?"
Oh yeah.
Put a bet on and hope for the best.
How do you train horses to drive Formula One cars, though? It just seems so unlikely.
Well, I'm glad you asked, Big Zeb. I'm glad that you asked, because there's special. They can do it. The hoofs, the shifting is a little difficult at times, but there's special.
Could they drive automatics?
Oh, you can't race in an automatic. Come on, now you're talking crazy talk. That is
maybe
race car driving. That's what that is.
It is? Okay.
And they don't. That's silly anyway. They
It is?
They've got supercars.
They have right. So I used to, when I was a kid, when I was like just over 18, I spent a lot of time wasting a lot of time in pool halls and the dog track. When there was a dog track down next town over from where I lived, and I'd go there. I didn't go to the dog track too much. I spent way too much time in pool halls, but so they're I would imagine betting, which now actually illegal, I believe, in Massachusetts, dog racing, but I believe horse racing would be similar, at least in how to place a bet. You can bet on the top three.
Essentially, exactly the same.
Yeah.
It's illegal here too now, like Australia-wide.
Yeah.
Thankfully, because it was horrific. I mean, the horse racing industry is pretty bad in itself.
Yeah.
But the greyhound, what they call the greyhound racing industry, those poor dogs, the conditions, and
I thought they were treated really well.
No.
There are owners who do, but in the racing industry, you know, drugged. If they don't or can't perform, they're just put down and not humanely. And
Yep.
yeah, there was a whole big thing across Australia. It was disgusting what was discovered, and it was sad because there were a lot of trainers who, you know, their dogs were like pets and family. But you know, it was too,
you work
too
an
big
animal
to try
really,
and
really
police
hard
it.
and then you kill it. It's just
What
awful.
was it?
Well, you breed these dogs to run really, really hard. They often injure themselves when they run,
Sure.
and then you kill them. And there are a lot of people who would love to have them, you know.
Yeah. You know, when people look back, you know, in future generations, or even, you know, I mean, even our own kids, right? When they look at what has gone on before them, they're just shocked at the amount of insanity that has gone on. And just like their children, their grandchildren will look at them going, "We can't believe you guys did this kind of crazy stuff." What's up, Jesse Bear? I've just been still thinking about those hair splinters. I wanted to let you know that, Jesse Bear. I'm still thinking about those freaking hair splinters. They keep me up at night now.
Hair splinters.
I was talking to Kendra about that last night, and then she reminded me I've actually experienced this. She rang my bell. My son got a hair stuck in him, and we watched Kendra pulled it out of him. It was really weird. I was really questioning what I was seeing. I thought maybe it was stuck to him weird, but yeah, we actually had that happen once.
Were you talking? So were we talking about rectum?
No, we're talking about regular hair splinters.
I mean,
no, hair stuck in where, but.
So let's do some backstory to this first. Jesse Bear was here yesterday.
Backstory? Rectum?
Jesse Bear cuts hair, and we were just talking about hair cutting, and she mentioned about some of the dangers that you may not think about people who cut hair, and one of them is hair splinters. They're splinters. Splinters, yes. So and I thought, I have never heard of hair splinters before. This is a whole new thing for me to get anxious about, and another reason to tip well when I get my hair cut.
Oh, absolutely. If people do it in bare feet, they get them in their feet from walking on your hair. I was fascinated to find that out. But here's some more hair trivia for you. So it happens a lot to men whose partners have long hair. You may sometimes find a hair sticking out of somewhere. And what happens? And you think, did I eat it and it's on its way out? But no, it actually went in the other way and worked its way in. And because what happens?
You lie. That can't be.
You always think I lie, Andy.
I always do think you lie.
Have I lied yet? So
I don't want to believe it, Sam. I don't want to believe
it. The hair
it.
follicles grow down in one direction. If the hair goes in that direction, it can't, it hooks and can't come back. So it just keeps going in and in.
Is this a statement of faith, 420?
It could be.
Wow. So, thanks, Sam.
There you go. Now you know if you ever find a mystery hair somewhere. How did that get in there?
How does a hair splinter differ from an ingrown hair?
Well, a hair splinter is what you can get from other people. So in Jesse Bear's case, she's cutting hair. And somehow
the hair must be so fine that it penetrates your skin.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Hair splinters. Now a whole new level. Thank you for leveling that up, 420.
Well,
I posted a link in chat you might find interesting.
Yeah, what is that?
First day at the job, a board security guard doodles over $1.2 million painting. And it was the painting had faces on it, but there were no eyes, ears, nose, or mouth. So he doodled some eyes on them.
You know, you got to be
Did
careful
you
about who
not
you hire.
realize that they were $1 million?
Yeah, it's let's see now. I'll post the link again. They have a picture of the painting there.
Mhm.
Just
And
4
and
little
it's occurred to me
scribbles.
there's been a lot of art vandalism. Far too much.
So, what do you think? Was the guard just mentally ill, or
Could be, but it doesn't. I don't think it makes.
It's just possibly very, very simple.
maybe?
There was a. Okay, I've got the link back, and I'll put it into public and private chat if you want to see it. But the thing is that um, this has happened before by people who are not insane, but are just enormous wankers. I think there was a guy who came up with the idea of vomiting on other paintings as an expression of art, and he would take food dye, drink it, and then get himself to vomit on a painting. And he did this somewhere and got arrested. That's all I remember. This was
Good.
years ago. Yes, good. There should be.
Well, you've now inspired because I'm going to New York City in another week or so, and we're going to the Guggenheim and checking out some of the Kandinskys there. There's a special exhibit, and now I will not do that.
I've ruined your plan.
I will not do that.
Dare I make a suggestion while you're in New York?
Well, please do.
There's a gallery that for some reason it never makes it onto the sort of list. Like there's MoMA, which is an amazing place.
Yep, true.
But the Frick Gallery has
We were
such
talking about that. We were talking about that. You were
Oh
mentioning that.
God,
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Yeah.
Huge also sort of like many hits as a percentage of the total as opposed to the Met, which is just so much stuff that you shouldn't even bother.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is just, oh look, a little metal piece of shit that survived the Babylonian Empire.
Yeah, it says that is it temporarily closed? I don't know. I'm taking a look at the site right now.
Talking about you reminded me of something. I'll wait till you.
No. Go ahead, man. I was just
Click on the link that I've just shared and give me your immediate thoughts.
All right. Well,
Even one word, yay, nay.
Now, where did you put it? In private chat? Oh, there it is.
Right. Is there a discussion to be had? No discussion.
I'm looking at the name of. I haven't clicked on the link because I can't because my iPad. Yeah. I am going. Someone, I hear more yawning back there.
Yes.
Well, Kendra's making noises.
Okay. So from what I've been able to discern just from reading the link there is that there's something about menstrual cycles and art.
I've shared it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's clean. It's just
okay. All right.
Artist creates period paintings using her menstrual blood to help women embrace their cycles.
Well,
so it's a period piece.
Thank you, Big Z. I was going to jump on that, but yeah.
Oh, sorry, I beat you to the punch on your own show.
That's okay.
Knowing that little bowl, what's in that little bowl, I'm just going to close that window because. So, boys, men.
I'm ready to speak out.
I am ready to be agnostic, and if people like, one thing, good for the artist to do something so radical that she got herself into the news, right? Because let's
And
face
that
it,
artwork looked incredible.
Yeah.
By the way.
Yes.
yeah. So she's probably an exceptionally skilled person who's done a lot of good art, and then she thought, why not menstrual blood? And that's what's going to get her a huge fan base, right? And if that's what it takes, then that's what it takes. So just from a business side, job well done.
And she go with the flow.
Yes, go with the flow, indeed.
The thing is that it's so horrible that you're an artist and you do something beautiful and no one cares.
Oh, yeah.
But if you say it's menstrual blood, then the whole world knocks on your door. Something similar happened years ago. If you look up a photograph called "Piss Christ,"
Oh yeah, I was
Oh,
just
yeah,
thinking about it.
yeah.
Right.
and it's absolutely beautiful, and it got mentioned in every major publication at the time. And pardon me?
Maplethorpe. That was the artist.
Oh,
Maplethorpe,
okay.
right?
Really? I didn't know he was a photographer. Oh, of course he was a photographer.
Photographer,
Well,
yeah, that was
anyway,
my friend.
everybody commented on it, but no one said it's beautiful.
Well, yeah, um, yeah, yeah, yeah.
No,
I
it's
went to
Andres
Maplethorpe.
Serrano.
Face saying,
Oh,
Toby,
was it?
what do you
Oh, I
want to
thought it
say?
was Maplethorpe. All right, I'm sorry.
Anyway.
What were you going to say, Sam?
It looks like Tobin wants to say something. He's
Were you
What
gonna
came across
comment?
my mind was he's making a statement. I mean, I don't think
Oh,
that's why people didn't say, "Oh, that's a beautiful thing." It's a piece that it was supposed to make that kind of controversy. You know, it was supposed to invigorate thoughts and get people talking.
So tell me if I'm wrong on this. All right, and see now we're on the second channel. I think I can say this without, and you know where this is going to go. If you're on QVC, and if they were selling at-home cures for the pandemic, who wouldn't? How many bottles of mason jars would they sell of anointed crosses in jars of pee for cures? I would say it would be a blockbuster business.
Yeah, I mean, it has gotten a popularity thing going here recently.
Yeah.
Oh,
And the fact that people are already crazy about drinking urine. Yeah, I think you're onto something there, Andy.
And
it's
then I
so
think
horrible though too. I mean, when pee ferments, whenever it sits, it gets.
And that's the whole thing. They age it.
No.
They're like, I've got some 180-day here.
It's the slow. It's the slow.
Jeez. Do you keep the urine in oak caskets for flavor?
Oh, of course you would. Of course you would put. And then you could do like little shots. You can do little shots of it. And then you get the big mason jars. You could do all of that stuff. All right. I think with this, I'm gonna start signing off because I got work to do before work. And thank you, Sam, Big Zeb, Tobin, everyone in the chat. Yeah, we're gonna and nothing else. My schedule should be normal next week. We'll see what happens. But yeah, Monday 9 a.m. I'll be here. Am I gonna do anything over the weekend? I don't know. I might drop another short like I did last weekend. But we'll see what happens. Take care, everyone. Shamla Hamla.
Shamala.
Bye.